A few moments later.
What's good, everyone? Audiolithic Mac back with another video. And in this video, Av McCree is back with the AI sampling. That sample AI, he is back promoting his new business venture, right? So I had to comment, right, to this video. Now here's my comment. The sounds you get from AI come from a pool of compositions uploaded into these AI companies. All AI does is create generic compositions from pre-existing VST or DAW created loops and compositions. Okay, did everybody hear that, right? Did I offend anyone with that? Did I offend anyone? Is that offensive? Okay, well here's Av McCree's response. I see you haven't learned your lesson, especially after you disrespected Bolo. Where did I disrespect Bolo? And what lesson is there to be learned? What is the lesson? This guy is a complete narcissist and completely delusional. This is what happens when you have people so dependent on social media for income that they don't realize that you can actually have a job in a real business, right? That sells something tangible. But this is the delusion of social media, because there's so many pretendians, right? And grifters on these applications, right? So many of them, so many. And I'm going to show you an example of one right now.
I never imagined that this would take this long.
Spotlight on Maryland reported in December about two alleged squatters who took over a $2.3 million house in Bethesda.
Just make this very clear.
Tamika Good, the squatter and self-described pro se litigation coach,
You can't be doing regular people
featured the estate in a TikTok video posted on her account just 6 days ago. Good was charged last year with multiple counts of burglary, trespassing, and other crimes associated with her squatter takeover of a multi-million-dollar Bethesda home. She had a scheduled court appearance on Thursday morning. In exclusive footage obtained by Spotlight on Maryland, Good can be seen in a black Porsche Cayenne leaving the property soon before 7 to make it to court. During the trial, Good argued that it was unclear which bank owned the foreclosed house because there was no clear trespassing sign. The assistant state's attorney for Montgomery County replied after hearing Good repeat herself multiple times, saying, "I know who doesn't own the property, and that's Tamika Good," adding, "This isn't some vacant, abandoned, way out of the woods house."
Hi, Miss Tamika Good. Do you believe that squatting is a crime? Why are you in a $2.5 million property, Miss Good?
After 3.5 hours of arguing her case before a judge as her own representative, we attempted to make contact during the trial's lunch break.
Get out my face.
Ma'am, why are you in a $2.5 million property?
Meanwhile, after Montgomery County police followed Good into the garage to survey her actions, she went back to the courthouse to argue her case for another hour and a half. Judge John C. Moffitt gave remarks before he made the ruling, telling Good she had some demented thoughts to justify squatting. The prosecution replied, "This is frankly nuts." Good was found guilty on all counts of burglary and breaking and entering, and immediately sentenced to 90 days in prison.
I think the District Court of Maryland did the right thing today.
Ian Chen, a 19...
Friends and family, what do you think about that video? And she's not just a one-off case. There are many of these individuals just like her on social media, on YouTube, who are just con artists and grifters, right? Now, she has been squatting in that home for months, but on TikTok, right, it makes it the audience, or the appearance to the audience, that she has all this wealth, all this money, and she's some financial guru selling books and PDFs and all other type of nonsense when she has no credentials at all to give any financial advice. And as you can see, she was faking it till she didn't make it because she got arrested and sentenced to jail. And she's not just a one-off, people. Now there is a crackdown on these con artists, fraudsters, and pretendians. It's happening now all over the country. And a lot of these people who are on TikTok and social media who've been committing these scams are now finally about to pay the piper for these scams. Check it out.
A Leon County woman, one of at least 4 people charged with a check fraud ring that stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. The state attorney general's office announcing that Otisha Torres was arrested. You see her there on your screen. According to the AG's office, Torres altered or copied stolen retirement checks totaling more than $500,000. She's now facing multiple felonies. Court records show at least 3 men are also facing charges in connection with this ring. The AG's office says the victims are from Miami-Dade County.
And that's not all, folks. She got arrested again for fraud, conspiracy to commit identity theft. Right here, people. It didn't stop there.
A few moments later.
Now, why would you ask, okay, now what does this have to do with Av McCree, Bolo, or any of these individuals on social media, right? Anyone, not just them, just even myself. What does that have to do? These individuals who are squatting and grifting, right? And scamming people, right? Now, right, let's point this out. There's something that everyone should know about con artists and grifters. They actually have certain behavioral traits, right? See, me, I'm a social scientist. And what we did while I was studying, taking courses as an intelligence analyst, we created profiles of certain individuals, right? These were just, this was just dummy profiles based upon real world cases, right? Now, in these profiles, we pinpointed certain behavioral traits that many of those individuals who engage in certain criminal behavior or certain illegitimate ambitions, you may say, they all share certain behavioral characteristics, right? Now, so I'm going to go over this for you all. Con artists are manipulative individuals who gain trust to exploit victims, often through charm, manufactured urgency, and promises of high returns with low risk. Remember what I was telling you before? They're always promoting something when there's nothing in return for the one who is spending the money. Nothing tangible in return. That is part of a con artist MO, right? Key traits include being over friendly. You notice this right on YouTube, right? Some of these YouTubers utilizing high pressure tactics, right? I know some of you have noticed this, right? You got to have this. If you don't get this, I don't know what I can tell you. You got to have it. You got to get this to improve your sound. You just got to have it. If you don't, well, you're going to be missing out, right? Avoiding detailed questions, right? So when you start questioning them and come up with logical responses, they get offended. Just like Av got offended by that, right? You didn't learn your lesson. You didn't learn your lesson. Got offended by that, right? Okay. And creating a false sense of intimacy or authority. Because a lot of these people think they're gods, right? That's the narcissistic viewpoint, right? A lot of these YouTubers think they are some type of god. Just like a lot of these scammers and on TikTok, right? These fake financial gurus, right? In their minds, they have these delusions of grandeur, right? They think they're just the top dog of any and everybody. They're just simple YouTubers without a job. And the reason why they're on YouTube is because they need money. Let's keep it real. If you didn't need money, you wouldn't be on YouTube. You would be actually working at a job, running a legitimate business. Yes or no? All right. Let's look at the key characteristics. Characteristics and trustworthy persona. They are often charming, confident, and appear very friendly. You notice how a lot of these YouTubers are so friendly, so nice, and appear very friendly to quickly build rapport and lower your defenses. That's what they're good at. That's the whole point of all this nice behavior. It's for you to lower your defenses and to butter up to your insecurities, people. Now, high pressure tactics. They force immediate decisions, telling you to act now or miss a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? Now, how many of you are familiar with Miss Cleo and those fake phony psychic readings and how she was like, call me now, call me now. A lot of these YouTubers, right, who always trying to sell you stuff, they exhibit that same exact behavioral trait. Act now. Once in a lifetime. You got to act right now. Hit me up right now. Sign up right now. That's their tactic. To lure you in where you will make an immediate decision without properly thinking. Do you understand? And many fall for this tactic. Many of them do. Exploiting emotions. They target greed, the fake financial guru, fear, right? You always see some of these YouTubers, right? Telling you if you don't get this, you're gonna be missing out. And insecurities, like I stated before, promising large returns or warning of danger if you don't act. Sounds like some Jim Jones type stuff right there, right? But that is the persona of these grifters, right? Who are luring you to benefit themselves. They do not care about you. They don't. All they care about is whether you spend your money so they receive your money, or you spend your time while they convert that time into money. Do you understand? Right. Unanswered vague questions. They are poor at answering specific questions about their background, the investment, or business details. You see this behavior a lot when it comes to grifters and pretendians, right? When you give facts, right, regarding a certain situation or a certain topic or a certain product, right, they tend to ignore all of the facts, right? Or they just ignore you completely, right? They'll run, they will deflect, gaslight. They never stick to the specific question. Now, how many of you have seen this before for some of these YouTubers when questioned about a certain thing? They always dance around from answering a specific yes or no question because they are a narcissistic con artist. That's part of the behavioral trait. You will notice that anytime you see someone dance around from a yes or no question or factual information, they will dance around it every time, right? Too good to be true offers. They frequently promise high returns with no risk. You see this a lot with the fake financial gurus. All these fake financial gurus on social media with no financial credentials at all. None of these individuals ever went to a college or university or have any type of certification in finance. Yet many of you follow these grifters on TikTok. You see a lot of them. I will actually give some names. Wall Street Trapper is one of them. He is a grifter. No degrees. All he does is copy and paste Investopedia information and then sell it to you for $500. What a scam is. And who falls for that? But people do, just like they fall for a lot of these robocall scams and other schemes. People fall for that. And then when you try to explain to these people you're getting conned, they always get mad, right? Because that is the insecurity, that is the delusion, and that is also Stockholm syndrome. That is Stockholm syndrome. It is. For those who don't know, that is Stockholm right there. When you have someone who was exploiting you And when people tell you, hey man, this is a scam, you need to be careful, you don't know what you're talking about. That is no different than Stockholm syndrome when it comes to individuals who concede to the oppressor. No difference. Now, fair weather friendships. They are excessively friendly until they have your money, after which contact often stops. Right? You see this in romance scams, right? They are always friendly. Oh, you look so beautiful. And then the person on the other end who's getting catfished, right? They think this individual is this playboy, wealthy entertainer, or someone posing as a entertainer, a well-known entertainer or whatnot. You just saw that if you paid attention with what happened with this lady and this comedian, right? You know, and what happened with Brad Pitt, I think? Woman got scammed thinking she was talking to Brad Pitt. Of course, you would say, oh man, what's wrong with these people? Yes, there are people who are gullible like that. But that's who these con artists, Ricky Smiley, that's what I meant to say, Ricky Smiley. There are people who are gullible. There are just way too many gullible and naive people here because they lack the education when it comes to identifying con artists and grifters. That's why I'm here. To give you all the pointers so you will know how to identify someone who meets that criteria. But I digress. Isolation and secrecy. They often ask you to keep the deal secret from family or professionals. That cult. You see all the cults around here? That's what that is. This cult mindset, right? These so-called charismatic leaders, right, who form these cults, they don't want you to tell anything to anyone else. They want to keep everything in-house, right? So you see some individuals, right, who create these videos on YouTube, membership only, right? Membership only. So you can pay to keep everything in-house, right? But there's nothing wrong with being a member, only if it's in good taste and there's a tangible benefit of being a member. Do you understand? That's when it's feasible for one to become a member. Just like with Maverick of Wall Street. Maverick of Wall Street has made me money. So paying him a little $7 a month is nothing because I will make that in a second with the Maverick of Wall Street. So that he is giving me a tangible return for his membership. But a lot of these other YouTubers out here, you're not getting anything. They are getting their return from your pockets. You're not getting anything back in tangible return. Now, unusual payment methods. They insist on wire transfers, gift cards, or cryptocurrency, which are difficult to trace. Yeah, you see these with these Nigerian scammers, these overseas scammers with these romance scams and crypto scams, right? Indian scammers. You see a lot of these Indians been getting busted, right? For preying on the elderly, right? Stealing their money and then converting that money into gold, right? The United States government has finally said, you know what, enough is enough of this crap. And they're finally cracking down. I mean, they're hitting these people hard and they're not stopping either. They said they are getting every single foreign scammer, whether it be from Nigeria, India, Pakistan, whatever, and bringing them to justice and getting that money back for the victims. So that's why you don't too much get a lot of these robocalls anymore. And they already know that a lot of these prison inmates are performing these robocalls as well. Check out this story from Florida of a woman in Atlanta who got busted for this scam. Check it out.
Sergeant Almazi, Desire, you didn't think this one through. I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Sergeant Almazi. He's the one who tracked you down. And this is the real Captain Dietrich. He's the real guy that you guys are calling saying collect money. So You can tell your homeboys that when you around in Volusia County, you're getting locked up. So I don't know if it was worth it or not. All right. Well, they're going to take you inside and talk to you. All right? Stuff going up.
As I stated earlier, friends and family, the federal government, Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Secret Service, the FBI, and local law enforcement are now cracking down on grifters, pretendians, and scammers. And they said they have a whole, I know people in law enforcement, they said they have told me that they have an entire list. They know about all the TikTok pretendians. They know about it. They have a list of those individuals on social media and TikTok. They're just going down the list, busting them one by one. So, like I told you before, all this fraud, pretendianism, and scamming is coming to an end. You need to stop it, find you a job, or start you a legitimate business. And don't be the one that they're going down that list and arresting, because they're coming for you if they have not arrested you yet. All of you with the little money, you know what I'm saying, on your forehead, they're coming for you. They already have your names. That fake fictitious name is not going to work. They already have it. They already have your Facebooks, your social media accounts, and they're going down the list. They're conducting their investigations, and they are going to arrest you. People are sick of this. They're sick of this garbage, this nonsense. And justice will be served. But I digress. Now, I hope that helps all of you individuals out there who have questions regarding how to identify a common grifter, con artist, and scammer, or someone who has some questionable tactics when it comes to selling something, right? This is the way where you can find and identify those people and to save you from losing money. Not to say a lot of these individuals on YouTube fall in that category, especially in the music space. Some are promoting great gear, tangible gear that you can enjoy and can earn a living from. The problem is when it becomes a tactic, a grift. That's when it becomes a problem. And that's when you have to identify who really is on your corner or on your side. Unfortunately, there are pretending con artist grifters on these social media apps who only look to exploit you. They don't want to be your friend. They're fair weather. They only want something from you, right? And if they can't get nothing out of you, they will just ignore you. These are the facts from a social scientist, people, I mind you, with a degree. Take care and keep your head on a swivel when it comes to these con artists, these cons, these grifts, and don't get scammed, friends and family. You have the blueprint right here. Use it, identify those individuals, and just ignore them. Keep moving. Keep your money in your pocket and make yourself happy. Stay blessed and take care.